Your embracing of crypto, very different from the previous administration. Strategic Petroleum Reserve like for crypto?
Yeah, I think so.
BlackRock is suppressing the price of crypto markets. Smash the like button, send this video to everyone you know. Wall Street is going all in on crypto and making you think the market is unstable. Isn't it weird that Bitcoin's price seems to be having a lot of trouble around this price point? Do you remember that Fundstrat's Tom Lee actually predicted that this would happen, that the price would be suppressed?
There's a lot of folks who don't want Bitcoin over 100,000, and some of it may be the exchanges themselves are concerned because there is a pretty low supply of Bitcoin available over the counter.
So exchanges are suppressing the price of Bitcoin. They want to keep it under $100,000 as long as they can. Well, the biggest exchange in the US, Coinbase, is actually in bed with BlackRock, and BlackRock is in bed with Trump. See, Coinbase was worried for a long time about their ongoing SEC lawsuits. Well, now they owe BlackRock a favor because BlackRock helped get Trump elected. Now Trump is installing pro-crypto, pro-business regulators. So if Coinbase and others are now suppressing the price for BlackRock and Wall Street, that would make sense because we're seeing Donald Trump and big whales buying crypto by the multi-millions. 55 million Ethereum, 1 million Aave, 1 million Link, and that's just the wallets we know about. We can see other big whale wallets buying even more Bitcoin, 1,850 Bitcoin worth 181 million. And guess what? Most people don't know this, but Larry Fink just put out a statement to his investors saying a 2% Bitcoin allocation makes sense. Okay, well let's do the math. Based on BlackRock's assets under management, this accounts for an injection of $220 billion into Bitcoin. That is 4x more than is currently in their Bitcoin ETF IBIT. A further injection of $166 billion at a 118 bull market multiple would equate to an increased market cap of almost $20 trillion or an eventual Bitcoin price of almost $1 million per coin. A key takeaway for me here is that an official starting 2% allocation recommendation from BlackRock is wildly bullish. And again, there are so many whales like Larry who we don't know about. So with the price at such a shaky point, Tom Lee just revealed what's really happening behind the scenes. He predicted it once. Can he predict it again? Here he gives his true thoughts on how he believes 2025 plays out. Smash that like button. Subscribe to our channel for more videos keeping you informed. Tom Lee says that crypto prices cannot be suppressed for long and are actually about to skyrocket. Trump is the secret to all of this. Listen.
You say that that is a substantial part of your outlook for the new year. The Trump put. Explain.
The Trump put is, on the simplest level, it is a White House that is going to measure its success by how the stock market performs. But it's also a president that's coming into a second term, but with a lot of previous experience. So this is a cabinet that has good private sector acceptance and I think very markets friendly. Overall, I think investors who might have been cautious for the last few years now want to be risk on next year.
All right. Everything is lining up if you know where to look. This is a clip that a lot of people missed. Donald Trump joined Wall Street today to ring the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. Guess what he was asked about? Guess what he chose to talk about? It's almost like letting everyone at the New York Stock Exchange know, hey guys, get ready for this.
Your embracing of crypto, very different from the previous administration. Strategic Petroleum Reserve like for crypto?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to do something great with crypto because we don't want China or anybody else, and not just China, but others are embracing it, and we want to be the head.
So this all leads to Tom Lee's ultimate thesis. Bitcoin is going much higher than anybody really thinks. His company, Fundstrat, has done the math, and this is their price target for next year. He thinks this is realistic.
All right, now I'm going to have to pin you to a target again on Bitcoin because, I mean, you've been among the most optimistic and outspoken about it for years, to be quite honest. So here we are, above 100,000. What's a legit target for 2025 for Bitcoin?
We think it's going to follow a similar halving cycle that we've seen in the past that would imply something around 250,000 for Bitcoin in 2025. And on top of that, we have a Trump put because Bitcoin is potentially a strategic reserve asset for the U.S. government.
And don't forget Trump's next move. He's already been installing pro-crypto regulators. His next move is the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. This is going to surprise a lot of people. Michael Saylor, who's actually known the Trumps for 20 years, talks to the Trumps semi-regularly. He thinks it's very likely the U.S. starts selling their gold soon. Listen to this. This is incredibly interesting.
You said people should sell their gold to buy Bitcoin. That's what the act proposes. How should the government be thinking about this, in your view?
Gold is a shiny, dead rock. Sell it all. Like, if you want to elevate U.S.'s economic leadership in the world, there are two very simple strategies. Dump the gold and buy Bitcoin, because you simultaneously demonetize the asset held by your enemies. Who owns the gold, right? You just sell it all and demonetize gold once and for all, put a stake in its heart, and buy Bitcoin, and you get 25% of the Bitcoin network for free. But it's better, right? You could just print the money and buy Bitcoin and keep the gold, but it's so much more intelligent to demonetize your enemy's network and everybody else's network. You might as well drive gold from a $20 trillion asset to a $4 trillion asset, devalue the assets of gold held by every non-US entity, drive Bitcoin to the roof, and then have 25% of the Bitcoin network forever. And so that's a very straightforward thing. My second observation is they ought to just create a normal regime to issue digital currency backed by US treasuries. I mean, the US ought to have a framework so Tether relocates to New York City. Right? That's what you want, right? And then you ought to basically have a free-for-all where JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs can issue their own stable coin. What's really going to happen here, my strategy would be, and I really think it's evil genius strategy, right? If it's like, it's so good, right, that our enemies would hate us, but our allies would complain too, and the US would make $100 trillion in a heartbeat, right? Here's the strategy. You dump gold, demonetize the entire gold network, you buy Bitcoin, you buy 5 million or 6 million Bitcoin, you monetize the Bitcoin network. All the capital in the world sitting in Siberian real estate or Chinese natural gas or every other currency derivative that's held as a long-term store of value, Europeans, Africans, South Americans, Asians, they all just dump their crappy property and their crappy capital assets, and they buy Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin goes to the moon. The US is the big beneficiary. US companies are the big beneficiary.
And of course, all big ETF issuers know, and actually have been saying for a long time, that 2025 is going to be a much bigger and better year for Bitcoin ETF inflows. If you understand how ETFs get adopted, you know in 2025 we're going to be seeing the biggest buyers of Bitcoin ETFs ever. So much is happening in crypto every single day. Hey, make sure you subscribe for daily videos just like this, keeping you informed. Comment great if you've made it this far in the video. See you tomorrow, my friends. I'm so excited.
I'm anticipating that by the time we get to the end of 2025, we're going to see total inflows of more than $150 billion.
What is going to propel? That's a big claim. That's a big number. What's going to propel that?
It really isn't all that big when you do the simple arithmetic. Individual investment advisors, independents, those that are operating their own firms, collectively manage around $8 trillion in assets, and 3/4 of them in every industry survey done by DAC-FP as well as by Bitwise all show that 3/4 of advisors say that they're going to allocate to these ETFs and that their average allocation is going to be about 2.5% of assets. Do the arithmetic. $8 trillion times 77% times 2.5% is $150 billion worth of flows. And that's just independent advisors. It excludes the wirehouses, it excludes the regional broker-dealers, it excludes the institutional investors.